absolutely. In terms of like, the length of the shaft, like would it be advantageous for a certain type of golfer to leave it longer, like closer to what their driver shaft would be?
Yes and no. So the best way to fit, so this is an interesting approach that we've kind of taken is, um, once you fit the driver length for somebody. So you need to get the driver length because too long leads to strike inconsistencies and too short starts to rob players of distance. So once you get that length, usually we found between 44 and a half and 46 inches, usually no longer than 46, usually no shorter than 44 and a half. Once you fit that, then what you need to do is build a fairway wood that flies the correct distance. And however you use the difference of variables between length, loft, lie, center of gravity, which club head you're choosing, um, though you need to use all of those things kind of in concert to get you to the right distance. And usually that's a fairly standard step change in distance. So for example, if a player is using a 44.5 to 46 degree driver, inch length driver, a fairway wood at somewhere between 42 and 43 inches is going to be really good. The lengths, we don't play with the lengths a whole lot. You have to get the length and the complement of lie right based on a player's delivery. But a lot of players want to fit from a static position. They kind of want to take their measurements of their arm length, their hand length, their height, those kind of things, and then try to fit length for that. We found that's a really kind of ineffective way to go about it because all of those angles change when you're presenting the club, right? Some players are more up on their heels, some players swing from in their back, some players kind of encroach on the golf ball, right? They kind of want to push in towards the golf. Exactly. So all of those changes in height and distance from the golf ball, all of those would affect the length that you would need compared to your static fit. So we always fit from a dynamic standpoint. So we fit impact backwards. So it's, we measure you, how are you hitting the golf ball? Then we move variables around. How do changes in those variables affect how you're hitting the golf ball and the consistency of strike that you have, and subsequently the numbers that the golf ball is kind of coming out with. And then as soon as we lock in on the right balance of accuracy and distance, we call it good, basically. So that's how I would recommend everybody do it when they can. I would focus much more on center of gravity of the club head you're choosing, the loft and the lie, and then fit the length in such that you are hitting the golf ball in the center of the club face the most often.
Cool. Interesting. Um, well, that's all the questions I have for you. Was there anything else that you wanted to add about fairway woods or anything? What's coming up next?
No, I mean, we're excited. I mean, we got, so right after we finish up fairway woods, we're also simultaneously running golf ball tests right now. So we'll have our golf ball results coming up later this year. And we are trying to bust through what we're going to be calling V3 of our interface. So right now we are well aware that we have kind of these fantastic insights that we're able to pull out that we know that can really help golfers build better bags and play better golf. But we don't think we're doing a good enough job right now of delivering that information in a way that is immediately accessible to those golfers and in ways that can immediately help those golfers go out and purchase better clubs or just tweak their modifying their clubs they already have in order to build themselves kind of a better setup. So we're coming out with a new interface that's going to be, I think, more intuitive, more user-friendly, and allow people to really interact with all the data insights that we're gathering in a way that really helps them